Hey everyone, and welcome to the Big View podcast. We are live. This is working. So for Nelly Real Estate, if you cannot see, please refresh the browser on your side. We are live today, and I'm not alone. So please welcome to the Big View podcast. This is the show for real estate agents who want to attract more clients, build trust online, and turn video into real leads without overthinking or burning out. At BigView, we work with thousands of agents every month, and one thing is clear: video works. And today we're going to focus exactly on this: how to generate leads using video. I'm joined by Marguerite Crespillo, a real estate leader with over 32 years of experience who has helped over 4,000 families. She's also the host of the Real Estate Real World podcast. Marguerite, welcome to the Big View podcast. It's great to have you here with us.
Well, hello. I'm very excited to be here. Happy holidays to everybody, wherever you are in the world, celebrating. I'm wearing my red in honor of the holidays.
Yeah, it seems that's already on the Christmas vibe. And before we get started, please drop in the chat the city where you're watching us today. And Marguerite, I like to really get started to the point. So I know that you have been in real estate for over 3 decades. You have seen every type of marketing trend come and go. What made you start using video and when that happened?
Well, so it's interesting because I've been on social media for quite a while. I mean, I don't even know when Facebook started. I think 2008 or 2009 or something. So, during that time, which was kind of crazy, that was during the worst market in history. So the whole industry was shifting and changing, and there was a lot going on in the industry. Prior to that, we had never, had social media. We didn't do anything like that. And video was such a big production. It was a lot of work and a lot of stuff to post it, right? So we didn't really do anything. So when social media came about, it we started in the beginning, it was simple text, right? There wasn't a whole lot of information. And then as the industry has changed and it's become easier with smartphones and stuff like that, we started posting, video or, commenting or posting little things about our dogs and kids and stuff like that. And it was also a great way to stay connected with my past clients and people that I've worked with and be able to express some information out there. So it probably wasn't really until the last couple years when I got a lot more engaged in video. I'm probably like a lot of people out there. I never like how I look on video. I don't like how I talk. I don't want to do it, right? And I'm a different generation as well. So it's not as common for people of my later years in life. So honestly, it wasn't until I really became a lot more active was once I discovered Big View. And this isn't just a pitch for you guys. It's I was uncomfortable with doing video and always felt awkward. And, I would put out some scripts and content and then I'd forget halfway through what I was saying. And I just always felt really uncomfortable and awkward with it. And then a couple years ago, I discovered Big View at a conference. I'm with EXP Realty, and we'd had a EXP conference, and so they had the whole system set up there. And once I got into there, I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing!" Because it made for me life so much easier. And of course, now with AI, you can go into AI and you can either generate scripts or write your scripts or whatever. And it just became really simple. And that is really truly what changed the game for me when it came to video.
Yeah, that makes sense. And one feedback that I hear a lot from the agents, like you probably have heard that as well. I hate being on camera. I don't like how I sound. I don't know what to say. So before talking about those issues and how to overcome that, what why do you think that video matters? Why should we create more videos and not just text? Because it would be way easier to go chat PT, create a script for this and paste on my LinkedIn and wait for the clients. Why video?
Well, because I think as human beings, we're very visually motivated, right? We're very visual, right? We want to be able to see who we're communicating with and who we're talking with. And I think even now, even more so with the world of AI, we kind of want to see that that person is real and authentic and legitimate, right? Because we're questioning everything now in our heads. We're questioning what people are saying, how people are acting, what they're posting. Is that true? Is that legitimate? And it seems that with video, they can, see the whites of my eyes effectively. They can see that I'm human. And honestly, I was talking about it yesterday with some agents in my office, in that people love more than anything seeing the real you, not the scripted, perfectly made up hair, everything styled. They really love to see, the messiness. They love to see the legitimateness. The bloopers get more attention than the actual video, right? Which kind of takes us back to the movie days. When you go back and watch movies, some of the best movies ever, the best parts of the movie were the bloopers at the end, right? Where you get to see the real people. And I just think in this day and age, people want to see real more than anything. They want to see that who you legitimately are, and if you're somebody that they're comfortable with and somebody that they can relate to and that they trust.
And it's very hard to do that using just text, right? To really connect with the audience. Like if I like to run, or if I'm selling properties, if I have a hobby, it's way easier to connect with my clients if I'm using video to deliver that content instead of just text or just static images on social media. And we have seen some data, Marguerite, that if an agent posts an image or a text on social media, will have X amount of result. If he shares that exactly same content using video, it could increase by 1200% the engagement. So it's
I believe
crazy.
that. Yeah, I believe that myself, because I know when I'm scrolling, right, when I'm looking through stuff, I'm more interested in video, in seeing somebody and what they're doing and how they're behaving or how they're acting, than I am just seeing a text. I mean, sometimes I get caught up in an email or, written content, but it's got to really capture me. Like the headline really has to capture me quickly. Otherwise, I'm not interested. But if I see a video of somebody and see them talking and engaging, and, I know for myself, I'm much more likely to engage with a video than I am with a simple text. And that even applies in the real world, in every day, with like in negotiating and writing offers. When I just get a text from an agent and then they don't respond, or, something like that, I'm not as likely to be motivated to work with that agent. But if that agent like picks up the phone and calls, and like I can hear their voice and hear, them personally, I'm way more engaged. And, maybe some of it's a generational thing. I don't know. But I just feel like we're at an age where we just like need to pick up the phone and talk to people, or we just need to be able to see them in a video and be able to feel like we can connect with them. Cause I don't think text, you can really connect on text. I mean, you can add all the emojis in the world and pictures and stuff like that, but it's dramatically different to see. Like, imagine if we were doing this on air today and all I was doing was typing text. Right? Like, odds are nobody would even watch or pay attention, or they'd watch for a second and go, and they'd, move on to something else. So it's no different. Like right now, we're live online and people can see me. I'm legitimately here. I'm in my home office. I'm here, as opposed to just seeing me posting text online.
And video really helps to build that trust, because it's very hard to trust on someone to handle like the decision of buying or selling a property if I haven't seen you. I just saw some pictures on your Instagram and nothing. I don't have one review from a client. I don't have any other deal, any other home you have open, like an open listing. I don't see that on your social channels. So how important is social media presence for real estate agents? Besides videos, being consistent on social media, showing up, creating stories, why that matters so much now?
Well, I think because the world has changed so much, and, we have entire generations who've been raised on social media, and they feel like if they don't see you online, that maybe you don't exist, right? Or maybe you've gotten out of the business, or maybe, God forbid, you've died, or, something's happened to you. And now it's harder too, a little bit harder with the algorithms, because if you're not posting consistently, the algorithms stop picking up your content and stop showing, right? And so I think that it's just changed the way we do things. It's kind of like, in some ways, I think of it like networking. Like in the beginning, as agents, many times we're out there networking, we're going to events, we're engaging with people a lot. And then if we start to not show up, people start to wonder, are you still in the business? Are you still out there? Like what's going on with you? And I feel like it's become the same way now with social media, that if you're not posting, people wonder, are you still around? Are you still even in business? And I just think it needs to be a combination of things. I don't think it needs to be exclusively social media. I know that's working for some people, but I do still believe a little bit in some of the old school stuff, right? Are you still calling your database? Are you still mailing to your database? Are you still, engaging with your database on top of social media? I think it's got to be a combination of things, not just social media. But I do think that social media and video is one of the key components in this current environment that we're living in this current world.
Amazing. And when you start talking about really generating leads using social media, at Big View, we usually measure like a good result when you post a video that leads to conversations. Like people send you a DM, they call you, not just views or likes. What type of videos, on your opinion, actually get the buyers and sellers to reach out to the agents?
I think that the most important videos that you can do are informational videos, answering questions, helping them understand the process. Like I'm right now doing a series on country property because I live in the country. And so I've gotten a lot of engagement on that, but I'm talking about things like wells and septics and, what it's like to live in the country and farm animals and gardening and stuff like that. I'm talking about all those things, which is creating a lot more questions and engagement, right? People that don't understand that. Maybe you've lived in the city your whole life and now you're wanting to live out in the country. What is that experience like? I think that niche marketing is really key and component as well in lead generating. Agents want to talk about everything, right? Because they're afraid they're going to miss out on something. But the truth is that the more that you can kind of niche down and really talk about something specific, I feel like the results are dramatically different in that arena. I have an agent who's a good friend of mine out in Arizona, and she sells exclusively, well, not exclusively, but she mostly sells land, right? Like parcels and pieces of land to builders and stuff like that. And she got focused on just doing land. And with that, now she's like she sells 300 units a year because all she talks about is land and all the things that go along with that, things like surveys and, subdivision maps and all the stuff that goes along with that. So people know her as the land specialist, right? Now, does that mean she can't sell regular houses, condos, luxury properties? No, it doesn't mean that. What it means is that she's becoming very well known for that particular niche. And so I do think that it helps to put content out there that is more specific to pay attention. Like I was talking about it yesterday. I was talking about it like if you decide you want to buy a bicycle, you have a choice. You could go to some place like Costco or Walmart and buy a bike, right? But if you're really into bikes and bicycling and wanting to do that more, you're going to want to go to a bike shop where somebody knows what they're talking about, right? Where somebody can give you details. Hey, you might want to, for the price, this is the best bike. If you're going to do long distance riding, this, you want to talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about in that arena. And I feel like it's the same in real estate. If you happen to live in the city and you live in a huge condo complex, start talking about all the important things that you need to know to buy in that complex. What's important? What are the HOA fees? What are the costs? What are the rules? Like talk about things that are more specific because that's going to trigger people to want to pay attention to your content, especially around that particular subject.
Okay, so being specific and creating educational content can help you generate leads on social media. If you had to highlight three types of videos they could be posting, educational video is kind of one of them. Is there any other kind of video that you usually recommend to your clients, to your
Well,
agents?
Educational, I think, is most definitely important. Even highlighting things around the area, right? Like maybe again, if you live in the city in a condo complex, what are the best restaurants around, right? Why do people want to move to that area? So educating them really about the particular properties that you're looking at is important, but people also want to know about the area. What do you love about it? What is the best parts of it that you want to highlight? I think that that's important. I also think that people want to get to know you personally, right? So you can say, "Oh, go to my business page all day long," but if I want to know more about you, I'm not going to go look at your business page. I want to see, like, what's your life like? Do you have kids? Do you have dogs? Do you like hobbies? Do you love to cook? Like something that I can connect with, right? Like what is something about you that I can relate to or that I can connect to? I think that those things are just as important as educational content.
One thing that I have seen many real estate agents using Big View creating and having results is kind of a testimonial video, but it's not the client, it's not the buyer or seller recording that video. It's the agent telling a short story how they helped that client, how much money they saved, how much time they saved because they worked with that specific agent. But this is not necessarily for lead generation, it's more for the authority, right?
Well, stories are something people can relate to, right? Just like a moment ago, I told the story of bicycles, right? So that you can say, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense now. Like you might not have understood to begin with. When I give you a story you can connect with or relate to, that also attracts people that can connect to that story. So yes, I absolutely think testimonials and stories and make it fun. Like again, to tell a testimonial is great, but to tell the story of how you were able to help somebody is so much more impactful and so much more something that they can connect to. If you're telling the story of a first time homebuyer, they might be able to relate to that. Everyone was a first time homebuyer at some point in their life, or a move up buyer, or a move down buyer, or a relocation client. Like what are those stories that people can relate to, I think are really important.
I have a controversial question to ask you, Marguerite, because I see
Okay.
many agents doing this on social media. I'm not sure exactly when they started doing and why they're doing, but I see a lot of just listed, an image and a short description, or just closed posts on social media. Does that work? What is your opinion on that?
Well, you know what? I do it myself. I think we all do it. I think that we've been taught as an industry to promote what you've sold and what listings you're trying to get out there. But I do think, and it's something we're working on more in 2026, as opposed to just saying just listed, is telling the story of that home. What is it about that home that somebody can connect with, right? If you closed that transaction, what did it take to make that actually happen, right? Because sometimes people think, we don't work that hard. They think all we do is put a sign in the yard. All we do, oh, well, you sold that quick. You didn't work that hard. They don't know all the details that went into it. They don't know all the behind the scenes that it took to make that happen. So I think we all do it. And I think it's all part of our social strategy. But I do love the idea, and it's something that we're working on as well, of putting more of a story around that as opposed to just posting just sold. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because at the end it's easier and faster to just post the image. So maybe a combination of the videos you could create, and also don't stop if you're already doing that, but you could do it more. You could also post some videos. And for everyone watching, please drop your questions in the chat if you have any questions, any concerns. If you're having a lead generation issue right now, we are here to help you today. And Marguerite, when you're talking about the videos for lead generation, as an agent, I would start thinking, okay, but how long should that video be usually to give me the best results?
Well, I think that people's attention span is dropping dramatically, right? So I think it's a combination of things. I think that you can post short, quick things that might lead to a longer video somewhere else. You can say, if you want more information about this, go watch my video at, whatever it's at. But I think that people people's attention span is shrinking more and more and more. And so I know for myself, unless it hooks me in the beginning, I'm not that interested in watching, 5, 10, 30, 20 minute, hour long videos. I might not watch them. There's got to be a reason that I want to engage. Like this, I think is fascinating that we're doing because it's live. So people, are going to hopefully want to hear what we have to say, but we also have to engage them. And more people are watching less and less. They're flipping, they're scrolling, right? And so engaging them in the beginning, but then maybe taking them to your website or taking them to a YouTube or something like that where you can do more long form. I think ideally you probably need to do both.
Okay, so if I'm just getting started, should I start posting short videos, or I create one long video and create a few clips and then post as a short? What I should do as a beginner, real beginner?
I think if you're a real beginner, anything works, right? Doing something is more important than doing nothing. So I think in the beginning, start, dip your toes in, do short, little, quick stuff about things, right? And eventually you can get to a point where you can do longer stuff. Like I have a podcast, and the beauty of my podcast is I can talk for half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. I can then take that long form content and, just like you said, break it up into short clips, into quick things that I can now repurpose. So if you're going to do long content, I think have the intention of how can you repurpose that? How can you pull pieces out of it? Just like I do a thing called Tuesday tune-ups. Every Tuesday, I get online and I talk about whatever people need help with. We take that same stuff and we repurpose it. So that is where I think it's valuable. Like this live that we're doing, we can pull different, quotes and little pieces out of it and rebroadcast that. And it gives you a lot more opportunity for content. So I think if you're brand new and you're a beginner, you're going to get overwhelmed trying to do long content. In the beginning, get short stuff that you can post and get in the habit of posting regularly, and then you can start focusing on long form content, in my opinion.
Let me also ask the audience so we can see how is the temperature here. If you're already posting content on social media, just put yes in the chat so we know you're already posting something. Or if you just want to get started in 2026, so maybe now before the end it ends, just leave no in the chat. So yes, I'm posting. No, I'm not posting anything. And talking about this strategy of on creating a long video and creating afterwards multiple short clips, we have that feature on Big View as well. So in case you already have long videos that you created, you already posting videos on YouTube, just take that video, add to Big View, and you'll be able to use the auto shorts to create many short clips and schedule them to be posted on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram to make sure that you show up everywhere. So we have a few comments here. Mothers conquering together. I've been
I
doing
love that.
this, posting a short 1 2 minute clip with a link to the full video on YouTube. We have yes, yes, yes. It seems that most of them already creating content for social media. So now the question is, if I'm posting content on social media, but I still have nothing, no leads, zero, what might be the issue?
So, well, first of all, I'm saying hey to the mamas there. I just saw mothers, so hey, mamas. I got 6 kids I raised in the real estate world, so I love my moms. So I mean, I think that it's always an experiment, right? You're always needing to try different things and do different things. And keep in mind, when you're also on social media, you got to like ask questions, try to engage. Just like right now, what we did is we asked a question, right? To get people to engage on here. And it's no different on your socials. Like what is working. And the hard part is you never know what works. Honestly, I have no idea what's going to go viral, what's not going to go viral. What I do know is the more I post, the higher the odds, right? And it's the same thing with lead generation. The more you're connecting with people in lots of different ways, the higher the odds are that people are going to engage with you, right? So you got to test it. I mean, you can't post one video and expect the doors to bang down with people all, can't wait to work with you. You have to keep posting and keep engaging and keep and see what works. See what some other people are doing, like right? And you can't copy them exactly because that's not good, but you can see what are people engaging with, what is working, right? Like I said, some of my bloopers have gotten more attention than anything else. Some of the screw ups, the mess ups, I was stumbling over my words, or not understanding what I was saying. Some of those have gotten more people to engage than anything else, and going out and talking about things that people want to hear about, right? Like right now, what's going on? Rates are adjusting. What's happening in your market? Right? I'm in Northern California outside of the Sacramento area. So crazy as it seems, a month ago it was crickets, nothing was selling. And then all of a sudden, we're now seeing offers coming in and people starting to move and things starting to happen. So the beauty of social media is you can do stuff real time. You can get on and say, "Oh my gosh, I just wrote an offer on this property and I was up against 5 other offers." That's wild. What's happening? What's going on in the market, right? If you're a buyer and you're trying to get an offer accepted, tell me what's happening, right? So, or you're a seller and your home's been sitting for a while. What is actually happening with your home? I think that those are the things that you need to do to be as real and honest as you can. And if you're struggling with what to say, get a group together. One of the best things I started doing in my office is every Wednesday afternoon, we meet to film content. And sometimes there'll be 2 or 3 agents there, sometimes 5 or 6, who knows. But those conversations that we have, like I've had my little video gal that follows me around now. I'm like, film everything, because who knows what we're going to be able to pull from, right? For example, if I were to meet you at an office and we were to sit and have a conversation just like this, we're going to probably pull way more content than me just sitting here talking to nobody or talking to a blank screen. So get other agents in your area together. Say, hey, let's get together and just make it consistent. So I know that every Wednesday we meet, and that forces me to go in and A, film content, B, get around other agents where we can have different conversations and we can learn a little bit about each other and about what's going on in the market. So that is super helpful, I think, too.
Great. We also have Kevin here. He said no, so he's not posting anything. There is one exercise that I always like to do, and we help you for sure to have some ideas for content creation. Let me ask you, Marguerite. Now you don't live in New York, but let's suppose that you're moving, relocated to New York in 60 days. What would be the first 3 things you would search online about New York?
Well, I'm going to first want to learn a little bit about the area. Like, where am I going to want to live? What part of the market do I want to be in? Right? Am I going to need to buy first? Am I going to have to rent for a little bit until I kind of figure things out? I'm going to want to learn from people's experiences, like who actually lives in that neighborhood. Tell me about the area. Like, what about the schools? My kids are grown, so it's not important to me now, but what about the schools maybe, or what about, shopping that's close by, or what about medical care that might be, in that area if I'm going to need to have concerns about, health or things like that. Maybe I want to know what gyms are in the area. What stuff is what can I learn as much as possible about that area? Even what are the price ranges? Can I even afford to live there? Right? I mean, those are things that are all valid concerns. For me, moving to New York, it would be a whole different ballgame. I live out in the country, right? Moving into a city is like night and day for me. So, what things do I need to be concerned about? And that is simple stuff that you can record, right? You can go find out what are the, restaurants in the area. What's your favorite kind of Mexican food or Italian food or Greek food or whatever you like? What are some of the different highlights of that city? What is there to do? What's the entertainment of that city? If you're a sports enthusiast, who are the sports teams, right? Like, what's going on in that area? I think that is simple, easy content that you can film. And guys, if you're older like me, get a kid, right? I went and got my friend's 20-year-old daughter and I said, "Hey, I'm going to pay you to follow me around." And it's been the best money that I've done, the best money that I've spent. So, what was this other question? I'm in a new area, moved from Altadena to Desert Hot Springs. Awesome. But you've inspired me to do just that. Get to know. Yeah. So, you're new to the area. So, What is exciting for you about that area? What are you learning, right? Because other people are going to want to know the exact same thing, right? You moved to Desert Hot Springs. Tell us about it. Why, first of all, why did you move, right? What precipitated you choosing to move to that area, right? And now, what are things that you have discovered that you love about it? What do you wish you had known before you moved? Right? Those are all great questions.
It seems that you gave us more than 10 video content ideas like New York, buy or sell. Three things you must know before relocating to New York. Three things you must know before renting New York. All those questions, all those things that you would search for that specific area is exactly the kind of video you could be posting on social media. And one good exercise is go to or either YouTube or Instagram and search for that. See the top videos that appear. What is the structure of that video? And this is, let's dive a little bit deeper here, Marguerite. When you're talking about short videos, do you recommend a specific structure for that video or should I improvise everything? What do you think?
Well, again, I think something is better than nothing. So if you spend too much time overthinking it, you'll do nothing, right? But I will say with short stuff, I would try to hook them as quick as possible, right? And people honestly love to hear the bad stuff too, right? So they're not 100%, they don't want it all to be sugar coated and, stars and unicorns. They want to know, like, what's not the great stuff, right? What are the reasons that you might not want to move here? What, like, I mean, I don't know. Those are things to really think about and to post about. But if you're doing short form, you got to get their attention as quick as possible. So what does that look like? And again, don't get super obsessed with amount of views or going viral. I've gotten more leads and more questions from videos that might have only had 150 views or less, right? Than I have from the ones that have gone crazy. Like because I love to cook. So I found a recipe. This is completely not real estate related, but I think it's fun. I found a recipe for rice, how to make your own homemade rice-a-roni, right? For those of you who know the brand rice-a-roni. And I didn't like the fact that it had all kinds of chemicals and junk in it. So I'm like, how can I make my own rice-a-roni recipe? So I read about it and researched it and found some stuff online. I made my own little rice-a-roni recipe. And I posted the little sticky note on a jar of rice-a-roni mix. And I have had more comments and questions and people asking me, like, well, how much water do you need to put? Like, I've gotten so much attention on this little rice-a-roni recipe that I think it's hilarious. So, same thing with real estate. What are little things that people want to know? Like, we have our gal that moved to Desert Hot Springs. Like, what do you want to know about that area? Again, all the things that you thought about before you moved, all the stuff that caused you to go there and why you chose that town, why you chose that area, maybe even why you chose that particular subdivision or community or those houses. Why did you choose that? And what did you do to do that research? That's the same thing that people are going to want to follow and see in whatever market you're in. That's the kind of stuff that people are going to want to see. What questions did you have? What inspired you to look?
Just to sum up what we have seen so far, like we start seeing why video matters, and that's why we're not using just text because video helps us to connect more and get more leads. We also discussed type of videos you could be posting. Then Marguerite gave you at least 10 ideas for videos you could create. We just discussed briefly the structure of those videos, like using a hook, maybe a call to action at the end on these videos. And I receive this question all the time. Should I, when I start creating videos, should I also focus on ads, running ads for lead generation? Should I wait? Do you use ads? What do you think?
So I struggle a little bit with advertising, mostly because I don't understand the how it breaks down on Facebook and on social media and how much you spend. Because I've had the situation where I posted an ad and then next thing you know, I spent a bunch of money and got nothing from it. So my personal preference, especially as a newer agent, is how much can you do for free before you actually spend money in advertising, right? Now, if you want to boost a post, something's getting attention or something like that, But I'm not an ads expert, I'll be honest with you about that. I have tried to figure out what can I do as much as possible for free. And the beauty of social media is that it's free. So, what can you do as much as possible to and I think that if you post more consistently and you post more content, you can actually get away with doing a lot of stuff for free. So, that's my personal opinion. I'm not a big advertising person. I'm a big database. How can I connect with my database? How can I connect with people that know me, like me, and trust me? That's more of my style. I'm not saying don't do advertising. There are people that do it and they're very successful at it, but it can get expensive really quickly. And you can lose control of that budget super fast and not generate anything from it. So I think, having a call to action is probably more important. Doing something where maybe you can send them a free report. Hey, you want to learn more about country property, send me a DM to get my free report on, questions you need to ask about a well or septic or things like that. You can do those kinds of things quick. You can put them in a graphic in Canva. You can send them off to them, and that helps you to start to engage with people. I think that that's probably more effective than spending a ton of money on advertising that might not get you the results you want.
Interesting, interesting. We have seen big view users. The goal here was not to focus a lot also on subscribers, followers you have on social media, because we have agents with less than 1,000 followers making more money than agents with hundreds of thousand followers on YouTube, right? So those
Exactly.
follows, those likes at the end doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah.
And digging deep a little bit more on that, when you generate leads on social media, we discussed basically today video, but you also mentioned that you still do other things for lead generation. What are the top three other things that you do besides video content creation for lead generation?
Well, so as you mentioned earlier, I've been in real estate for 32 years. So I've been doing this for a long time. And I will tell you that rule number one with anything and everything that you do is consistency. You're better off doing something small over and over and over and over and over again than you are doing things big, few and far between. Right. So I snail mail a letter to I have my database program that I use. It doesn't matter which one you guys use. What matters is that you use something. I stay in contact with my clients. So I do a letter to my database every month, a little story about me and my life. Uh, I don't send a lot of real estate related stuff to my database because they already know I sell real estate, and on all my marketing is all my branding. So I do that. I do client events. So I love to entertain. So I do from small events to big events. I'll do summer movie nights to, holiday parties to small cooking classes, things like that to connect with my database. So that is stuff that I do. Of course, I still do marketing for my listings, open houses, things like that. I do that outside of video, but I also use the video to promote those types of events, right? And talk about them. So I do a lot of things. The top three things I do is I mail to my database every month. I'm definitely on social media and I do client events. Those are probably the top three things that I do for my database. Now, I'm not selling as many homes like I used to because I'm 62 years old. I don't want to work that hard anymore. So I sell, 25, 30 homes a year. I used to do 2 and 300 homes a year. I don't want to work that hard anymore. So my focus is really my database and referrals and repeat clients and, working with business entities that send business my way as well.
And for those the listenings, they're watching us today, they're just listening to the podcast. They have heard everything. Okay, they know that video matters. They know the kind of video they could be posting, but they still think like, okay, but I hate being on camera. I don't like the way that I look on camera. Do you have advices on that?
So here's the truth. The truth is the same person that's on the video is the same person that if I were to meet you in person, I would see. No different. So we have to get over it. We have to get over ourselves. Like we always feel uncomfortable, yes. But the truth is that do you feel uncomfortable if you were to just meet me in a office or a hallway and talk to me? Would you not talk to me because you're uncomfortable with me seeing your face? Like I think we have to get over it. And I don't know how to say it other than you can use filters in the time being if you want to, but I'm not using any filters. This is me. This is who I am. And if you were to bump into me in the grocery store, I might not look as made up as I am right now. But the truth is you have to post. You have to get out there. People want to see your face. They want to see who you are. And if you were to see me in person, would you be like, "Oh my gosh, you don't look like I saw you online," or "I've never seen you online, so I don't know." Like, don't worry about it, right? Don't even worry about it. Just get on there and post, because people actually like the real you more than the filtered made up you. Like, how many of you guys have seen somebody that all they use is filters all the time, and then you see them in person, you're like, "Oh, wait a minute." It's kind of like that headshot that's from 30 years ago, right? It's like, come on, you know, you're just as beautiful. You're beautiful the exact way that you are. So stop worrying about what people think.
Amazing. And I just wanted to share one thing that is not exactly related to this, but there are some agents, especially one in Texas, using big view ads, big view avatars to run ads to promote some listings. What his specific agent is doing, he's basically creating different avatars to promote that listing to try to connect with different prospects, because like I'm Brazilian will be easy, not easy, but I will be able to connect really easy with Brazilians in Orlando, try to relocate to Orlando because there are a lot of Brazilians living there. But as soon as you start trying to connect with more and different clients in your area, if you test different avatars for running ads, we have a few agents having a few meetings from these avatars that you post on social media. So if you want to know more about that, just get in touch with us. We can share more about and how these agents are using the avatars. And besides that, Marguerite, I know that you also have a weekly or bi-weekly session helping agents get more on social media, learning more, the Tuesday tune-ups, right? Can
Yes,
you talk a little
Tuesday
bit more
tune-ups.
about
You
that?
can go to tuesdaytuneups.com every Tuesday. I started this like 15 years ago because agents would ask me lots of questions and I got a little overwhelmed. So I said, well, what if I did it every single week? Right. And every week I just hopped online and talked about whatever we need to talk about, whatever questions you have, whatever you need help with, whatever you want to pick my brain about, hop in. So we have tuesdaytuneups.com. You can head on over there and you can register for, we're going to be off for the last 2 weeks of the year, but starting back January 6th, we'll be back live on there. And I'm there live. Hop in, ask questions, right? And I saw somebody posted about Kelly posted about Spain. So my husband is Spanish. His parents were born in Spain. So yeah, it's different there than it is here, right? But that's where you can highlight what are those differences. If I'm in the US and I want to move to Spain or I want to go visit Spain, what should I know? Or vice versa. If you're in Spain and you want to move to the United States, what might that look like, right? I think that stuff is super important.
Yeah, and focusing on the right audience. Like if you're American, helping Americans relocate to Spain, that's a big audience. There are not a lot of agents doing this. Or I don't know, if you're
And there's not a
Brazilian, if
lot of
you're
people doing
Latino,
that. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good market. If that's your situation, I would start creating content about that. And Marguerite, to wrap things up, if you could give one piece of advice to agents who really want to create videos in 2026, one advice, what that would be?
I would say, just like Nike says, just do it. Literally, just do it. Get on and post something. If you're uncomfortable posting your face, post your dogs. I don't know, post your cats, post your, what your neighborhood, post something. But more than anything, create a commitment. Like I was saying earlier, my commitment is that I meet every Wednesday, and I forced that to happen. I got somebody, I said, I need you, and I am paying her to show up every Wednesday. That forced me to go in the office every single Wednesday and record. And now I've engaged other people for accountability. I've said, hey, if you're an agent in the Roseville, California area, come on by. Every Wednesday we're recording. And people started showing up. That forced me more than anything else to show up. So create that for yourself in your own community. Get a group of moms together or dads together or, dog lovers together or whatever and say, hey, every Wednesday at noon from noon to 2, we're going to connect and meet and record video and chit chat and network, whatever that is. But put something that happens consistently in your calendar to make it happen. So just do it. That's all. The best advice, 3 words, just do it, is the best advice I could give.
Yeah, just get started. And if you need any help in the process, and if you want to use BigView to create content, attract leads, just send a message to Bruno at BigView. We can help you on that. If you're a real estate agent, just send me a message. Marguerite, thank you so much for sharing your experience today with us. To everyone watching live, if you want to make videos easier in 2026, just send me a message or go to bigview.tv. Seems that we have one last question. Let's see this last comment from Valerie.
I
I
love
rec-
that. I recently moved to the country and we have a wild peacock that showed up out of nowhere. And now everywhere I go, people ask about it. That is amazing. And so keep posting. I'm going to go follow you because I want to see about the peacock. Let me take a picture of your message there and make sure. I mean, that people love that stuff. They love that. Like, tell stories about the peacock, follow the peacock, tell the history of the peacock. Why is the peacock living in your neighborhood? Right? Like, I mean, people love that stuff. Why does the peacock like your particular neighborhood? Because maybe I want to buy and live there so I can be near that peacock. Right? There you go.
Amazing. And for those of you that want to join the Tuesday tune-ups from Marguerite, I'm dropping the link in the chat again. Just use that link to be able to sign up. And thank you so much. Take care. Have a happy
Thank you for
holiday.
having me.
You too, Marguerite. Thank you, Marguerite. Thank you, everyone. Take care. See you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
With the BigView teleprompter, create videos you're proud of. Easily trim your video by selecting the words where you want to start and end. Color your presentation with automatic subtitles and highlighting keywords. Add your brand logo. Add music for an emotional touch. Add your contact info on an animated business card on all your videos. Easily replace green screen with an image or a video loop. Stand out with a web page with your logo, your video at the center, and personalized button for visitors to interact. It's one tap to simultaneously upload your videos on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.